Well, we finally know. What do you guys think about that 5090 now? Pretty disappointing, honestly. I expected that performance. But yeah, very, very underwhelming, honestly. And it seems like the 5090 is more a 4090 Ti than a 5090. It's still going to be the best. No competition from AMD or Intel yet. So it is what it is. You want to get the best, you have to pay for it, and there's no other option. But yeah, the thing that impressed me the most was the Founders Edition temperatures. Absolutely insane, bro. Like, I really don't understand how the AIB partners are going to justify the higher price. I'm not sure yet about the exact pricing for the AIBs. I have not checked that out. I'm sure there are some leaks or whatever, but it doesn't make any sense. Usually, you buy the triple fan setup or even 4 fans. We have an Asus card that has 4 fans. Usually, you buy that to get cooler temperatures, and of course, you will get a cooler temperature. But man, just look at this thing. I mean, when I saw this chart from Gamers Nexus, I was blown away. I'm like, what? Of course, it depends on your, room temperature. It depends on the case. I understand, but even with the 21 Celsius, room temperature, this not going way over 70 Celsius is insane, bro. We're talking about almost 600 watts, 2 slots, Founders Edition card. That's just absolutely insane, bro. Like, why would you even get a huge monstrosity? I much rather have a small GPU that is easier to move around. If I need to move my PC upstairs or something like that, it's less weight for the motherboard. I mean, it's just a win-win. This is amazing temperatures. What NVIDIA did with the cooler and the Founders Edition is just absolutely insane, bro. That was for me the most mind-blowing thing. And of course, the memory temperatures are not as good. It's gonna be like 90 or 90 Celsius, but we don't know DDR7. We don't know if that is normal. Let's see when the reviews for the AIB come. Let's see if they are a lot lower. But yeah, I think that's just absolutely insane. I would buy the Founders Edition if I could. The only downside I see is, well, yeah, the memory temperature and that it doesn't have the 2 HDMI 2.1 ports that I want. So I will prefer to buy the Asus card because of that. But honestly, I couldn't care. I mean, whatever I can get, I'm going to buy it. So yeah, that's my impressions, roughly. Pretty underwhelming. But yeah, let's see what you guys think. Let me say hello to everyone here in the chat. What's up, Chrysler? Here, Pilokun says, just writing this before I have to head to work. Yeah, all we have to do was look at the specs, and it was obvious. Even NVIDIA said that Blackwell was not anything different, UARC wise. So, I mean, well, NVIDIA promised a lot. Like the 5070 was a 4090. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it was. I mean, they showed the initial comparisons, and yeah, you could kind of see. Yeah, it's gonna be like 25% better, something like that. But yeah, still, it's still a little bit underwhelming. And I think the reviews. I mean, I watch almost all the reviews today. Not all of them. I mean, it's so many. I watch a lot of them. Definitely from the channels that I know. And I think that reviewers did a great job. Like I have no complaints from what I've seen. Very, very good reviews, really showing you the real deal. What's up, new and old? Ariel, the sober upgrade path is buy a 4090 for $1,200, use the $1,000 to buy an AM5 motherboard with a 9800X3D with DDR5 RAM, and AM5 motherboard. But here's the thing. I'm going to get better performance with a 5090. I get what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense for, let's say, for longevity, like it's a faster platform. But the GPU upgrade is going to be better for gaming, period. Yeah, the 4090, in some cases, the 4090 with that GPU is going to be better, for sure. But I do not have my main display. I think it all comes down to what is the display you're using. See, we're talking, like the reviewers focus on the GPU and everything about the performance, but the most important thing is which display you have. And of course, the refresh rate and the quality of the display, of course. I mean, I don't understand why someone with a normal, regular LCD monitor would buy a 5090. That would be very sad. But depending on the refresh rate of the display, is going to be like, how are you going to use the GPU? So in my case, 144 hertz, 4K. Yes, some of these games are so demanding that's almost impossible to get over 100 frames because they are CPU bound. That's where frame generation comes in. So what I know for sure is that my CPU, I have a 5800X3D. I can get 60 FPS in all games that I've tried. And if there is a game that drops below 60, it's absolute trash when it comes to optimization. So I'm not even going to worry about that. I mean, there are some games that just run very poorly, no matter what you have. And of course, if you want to, for emulation, you want to run Bloodborne, with emulation, you want to have 120. I mean, that's impossible still, but you get what I'm saying. There are some cases where, yeah, definitely having a faster CPU with a 4090 is going to be better. It's going to give me a better result. But for the majority of the games, I am better off with a faster 5090, even if it's not that big of a difference. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense. And the thing is, $1,200 for, I guess you're talking about a brand new 4090. They are not even available. So I would not pay $1,200 for a used GPU. I get it. The 4090 is fantastic, but that GPU is going to be used. It was most likely used very heavily for like 2 years. So yeah, I don't, and that's not compelling, man. And if you buy a brand new, the 4090 is still very, very expensive, super, super expensive. So it is holding the value very well. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm not going to sell my GPU. I was gonna give it away, but to a friend, but the friend already bought the PC. So I'm going to keep it just in case, and I'm going to try it as a second GPU for lossless scaling. I know that's not ideal because on my motherboard, if I use the 2 PCIe slots, I am reducing the bandwidth. I'm cutting the lanes in half for the main one. So that's not going to give me better performance. But I want to try it to see how it works. And it's going to be insane, 5090 and my 3080 at the same time working to give me some gaming experience. That would be just so cool just to get that working. So I'll try it. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, I will go with 5090 just because it's more compelling to brand new GPU. I'm still trying. I'm still buying a day one. Yeah, I'm buying a day one too, man. I don't care. I already made up my mind. So yeah, it's I'll try. See if I can get one. Looks like getting rid of one of your kidneys to pay for it wasn't worth it. Health first. I would not get rid of my kidney for that. But yeah, everything else, yeah, still going to be the best GPU money can buy. Yeah, I mean for the next 2 years, that's what I am. That's what I'm expecting. And you might think the price is crazy, but they hold, these GPUs are holding on the value. It's just amazing, absolutely insane. You know, 2 years later, you can still sell the GPU and recover most of the money you paid for it, which is amazing. So the same boat, build a new PC, transfer my 4090 to prepare for 5090. Now I'm debating leaving the 4090 and skipping IGN. Oh, absolutely, man. I would, no way. I think unless you absolutely do not care at all about money, like money is like you have money to burn and it doesn't matter at all, like it's not even a thought, then yeah, get a 5090. You're always gonna get the best anyway. But if you are a little bit more sensitive or sensible, no way, man. Why would you change the 4090 with a 5090? In some games, I was shocked. In some games, it's less than 10% difference. That is appalling. That's just wow. Less than 10% difference. I think it was like Starfield. Of course, absolute trash games, but you get what I'm saying. It's like in some cases, it's like it doesn't even make any difference. You can just reduce the in-game settings a little bit, and there you go. That's your frame rate. So yeah, pretty underwhelming for sure. I also don't like how much power it uses, given the top rating is 600 watts and you're running games at 575 watts, too close. Well, it is using the advertised power for sure, and the AI base might go beyond that. I like that. Of course, I understand it would be better if it uses less power because less money you have to pay on electricity bills, less heat. But at the same time, I like that they are pushing it as hard as possible to give you all the performance. And that's what I've always been asking for. It's like if we get a new TV that is using 600 watts again, that would be amazing. I love that. This plasma, I had to basically fix the entire electric system of my home because I was not able to use this plasma TV. Because I unlocked I reduced the ABL in the service menu, and by default, this plasma uses like 600 watts. So my PC gaming plus the plasma was giving me issues. And that was kind of crazy. But I would love a display to come and it would be like that because I know they are giving us all the performance. See, when you see this 65-inch TV is not using even 300 watts, you know that they are holding back a lot for regulations and all of that. And I love that NVIDIA doesn't care at all. And that's how it should be. We're talking about $2,000 GPU. Why would you that's this idea of saving the planet or whatever with a $2,000 GPU doesn't make any sense. I mean, even the packaging, the packaging doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it's eco-friendly stuff and trying to save power. I don't like it. So I love the fact that the 5090 is so power hungry. I absolutely love that, man. I really like it because of that. What I like the most about the 5090 is the VRAM. And what I really don't like is the power drop. Let's see what we can do with that VRAM. I think I'm gonna try to figure out some cool stuff to take advantage of that VRAM. I mean, Hybrid told me, he's a developer. He told me that he has some good tips to share when I get the 5090 to push the games, especially the Unreal Engine games, to push them further than what they, to get more quality basically, beyond what they regularly come with. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Let's see, and of course modding and all that stuff. Did you check out the new DLSS DLL from Cyberpunk? It is really good. I have not. The reason why I'm doing this live stream today, well, it is being successful. So we're getting a lot of views. I mean, we have over 80 people in the chat. That's awesome. That's one reason I really like live streams more than videos, because I like this chat. But the other reason is I haven't had any time to sit and play this week. I've been very busy. So for me, I need to play games and to mess around with settings and do stuff so I can actually make a video. And so I haven't been able to try anything, but I will try that for sure. I've seen the Cyberpunk videos, and actually, let me tell you, I watch all the reviews. Not all, but again, I watch a lot of reviews. I have to say, the review that I liked the most with the 5090, I'm gonna have a link in the description of this video when I finish, was the review from Optimum Tech. Usually, I'm not like watching all his videos or anything, but I think he did a great job on this review because he didn't like completely ignore frame generation. I think that's not fair. I saw a lot of reviews that completely ignore frame generation, and I understand some of them said this requires a dedicated video because we have to talk about the image quality. So frame rate is no longer the only thing that matters when you're doing this interpolation. That's totally understandable. But at least I think they should include some of it, just a little bit, a hint of it, because it's very important. It's one of the biggest selling points of the 50 series. And I think it is a great feature, especially if you have a high refresh rate display. And so, yeah, I like this review a lot. I think he did a great job, and he did show the defects in motion with frame generation, which I liked. I really appreciate that. So that was very, very good stuff. I've got a 3080 Ti. What should I do? Get that 5090, man. We're talking about almost guarantee 2x your frame rate. I'm talking about just pure performance. I am expecting that 5090 to be more than double my frame rate in almost every single game. And let me tell you, what I like the most about the 5090 performance is that the higher you go on the resolution, the more it will shine. So you will lose less. So basically, increasing the resolution will have less of an impact. So that is fantastic for what I want to do. And one thing that I didn't like about any of the reviews is that reviewers never offer the performance beyond 4K. And that's the reason why I want to buy the 5090. I want to see how good is the 5090 when using DSR. That's what I want to do with it. So I wanted to see those numbers, and no reviewer touched on that. We have a super chat. Well, thank you very much, Eber. Let me see if I can. It's not letting me. Let me find it manually. Thank you very much. Oh, here it is. Eber de la Hoya, thank you very much, my brother. If people is going to turn off the technologies, what's the point of buying? Again, that's why I said you cannot do what NVIDIA is doing, which is telling you that frame generation is performance. That is not performance. So you cannot go all in and compare the 5090 with the rest of the GPUs when using 4x frame generation, because the rest of the GPUs don't have that. So you are not comparing, apples to apples. It is not fair to do that. But it is not fair either to completely ignore it And so do a review and don't even mention that. Don't even turn on frame generation. It's not even like if it was not even a thing. That's not fair, because it is a huge selling point. Basically, if you have a 4K 240 hertz display, the 5090 is just, it's gonna give you a different level of experience. If you have like a, even 1440p 360 hertz or the 500 hertz QD OLED monitor that we're getting now, there's no way you can get that high of a frame rate. And I think multiple frame generation for that purpose, that's gonna be a killer feature. Absolutely amazing. And I think that relationship between the display and the GPU that you are buying, I think that's what is missing a little bit on the reviews. That is the most important thing. That is key, absolutely key. And I think, yeah, we don't have that. So hopefully, I will get the 5090, and hopefully in the future, I can get some very high refresh rate monitors for review, and with that 5090, I can show and talk more about that and show you a comparison, because I think that's really the next level on gaming performance thanks to frame generation. I think it's a huge deal, but it is not to max out. The thing is, the way NVIDIA is marketing frame generation is completely wrong. That's not the reason why you want to turn on frame generation. They want you to basically use DLSS performance. So that's upscaling from 1080p at 4K. They want you to use that. And then 4x frame generation. So you can turn on path tracing and all of that. And you can max out the game and use all the features. That doesn't make any sense, bro. You don't buy a 5090 to play upscaling from 1080p. And yes, some people are telling me that the new DLSS 4 improvements are fantastic and it looks a lot better now, a lot sharper, especially in Cyberpunk. I understand that. But still, you want to turn all that off, basically, or turn off all the path tracing and then get a much higher base frame rate if you have one of those 360, 480, or even 500 hertz OLEDs, and you want to push all those frames to get those frames delivered to your display. That's next level gaming, even for just not competitive, even for just to play Cyberpunk or any of these games. That, I think, that is the next level that the 5090 is going to allow. And that's, nobody's talking about that. Yes, they're showing you 200 frames per second, but because they think, oh, 200 over 200 frames, that's just way too much already. So let's use path tracing and all of that. And I'm like, no, that's still not enough, especially if you have the display. You want those 480. You want to see that in motion. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be just amazing. Because think about this. For you to get 480 FPS locked, you actually, it's not like 4x your frame rate, because when you turn on multiple frame generation, you're losing performance. That's another thing that I noticed from the reviewers that actually use the feature. There is a performance hit. So if you're getting 120 FPS without multiple frame generation and you turn it on 4x, you're not going to get 480 FPS. You might get 380, which is still great. But what that means is that you're losing a lot of performance when you're using multiple frame generation. So actually, you need to be able to get like 200 frames to then turn on 4x frame generation, so you can reach 480. I mean, I'm like rough estimate what I'm thinking. Of course, it depends on the game. It depends on many things. But that's the thing. Your base frame rate is gonna be so high that all the complaints with the input response and all of that is just gonna go away completely. And now frame generation is gonna give you all the motion clarity of your display. So yeah, that's what I think about that. So I'll go and read all the comments. I'll try to be more up to date with the comments, and then go back and forth, because then I lose touch with the things that you guys are talking about. For gamers, raw performance is what the most important. No, it is the most important. It is the most important. And actually, let's think about this. Imagine frame generation was absolutely perfect, like no input lag penalty, like absolutely, like it is superior, and there's no way anyone should ever turn it off. Let's say that's the case, and that, of course, that's not true. But let's say it is so good that it doesn't even matter if it's real frames. Let's say in the future. Still, you have to consider that not all the games are going to work with that. So that you cannot say, oh, this GPU has this level of performance, because performance is something that you get with all the games. See, it cannot be a feature that needs to be supported. It has to be something that you get no matter what. And if that's not the case, it's just a feature. So you cannot rely on it to say 5070, plus frame generation is at 4090. That's the thing. That's why most reviewers have a split frame gen. From the initial reviews, they need the clicks. So be ready for frame gen specific content now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like frame generation a lot, but I think it is very important to understand that's not to go from 20 to like 120 FPS or 20, 30 FPS. That's not the purpose of frame generation. But I'm going to try 3x. I have 144 hertz. I think 3x. Let's say I'm getting 60 FPS, way over 60 FPS on a game. I'm gonna try this, for example, in Black Myth Wukong. So demanding. I was disappointed with Black Myth Wukong. Actually, FOMO also, he said, oh, difficult to go over 70 FPS in Black Myth Wukong with a 5090. I'm like, I'm gonna skip the 5090. I'm waiting for the PS6 or the next generation of GPUs. Black Myth Wukong is one of the main reasons why I want to get the 59. I know it's a great game, but it looks like garbage, honestly, in my opinion. So I was disappointed, man, that the frame rate is not great. So probably what I'm going to try in Black Myth Wukong is I'm getting like 70 FPS. I would use frame generation 3x. And what happens is from 70 FPS, when you turn on frame generation, you're going to lose that base performance. But I only need 48 frames to go from 48 to 144. So 48 frames multiplied by 3, 144. I think that's going to work fairly well. Let's see how is the input lag. Let's see how it feels and how it looks. But I think it might work. Otherwise, of course, I would still use frame generation, but just 2x. And tweak the settings and use 2x. And the thing with Black Myth Wukong is that I definitely need that raw 4K performance, because I'm going to turn off everything. I'm going to use the hybrid mod that I shared in one of the videos to get it looking more clear. And it does look very, very good with that mod, but it's very, very demanding. So that's what I'm going to try to do with Black Myth Wukong and my 5090. And hopefully that's going to be the test for me. That's going to either make me very happy and blown away with the 5090, or it's going to be like, oh man, I just blew $2,300 for no reason. Of course, there are other games that are going to look great. Why am I wearing a coat? Let me see if I have it's like 13 Celsius here where I am right now. It is cold. That's why I've been saying I want to do a live stream outside of Micro Center, and I will. The thing is, I don't know how long that live stream is going to be because we're talking about freezing temperatures. Okay. So yeah, I cannot have my hand exposed because it's gonna freeze. So let's see how that goes. I would like to be doing the live stream the whole night while I'm waiting Micro Center. That's what I'm gonna try to do, but I don't think I can do more than 30 minutes maybe or an hour because I'm gonna freeze. I'm gonna freeze for a 5090, bro. I'm gonna freeze. Like basically risk my life, my well-being. No eating, no going to the bathroom. I'm gonna have to probably buy some diapers in case I need to take a piss. Or I'm gonna have to take a piss at the parking lot or close to a tree. You know? It's gonna be tough, let me tell you. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Founders Edition doesn't run too hot. If we're being honest though, awesome cooler, but it appears to be too small still. Well, here's the thing. All the 5090s, if the cooler is doing its job, they should get out a lot of heat. And that means the cooler is doing its job. So the 5090 Founders Edition, you see 74 Celsius for the core, but if you put your hand outside, it's gonna be hot because it's taking that heat out. That's perfectly normal. The thing is, if you have a case, a closed case, that's gonna be a problem. Especially if you have a CPU air cooler, that's gonna be a problem. So you better have a nice case with a good airflow, or if you have a crappy case, like it's my case, you have to open that. So that's what I do. My PC is wide open. I am not using the side panel at all. My PC is resting on the floor, wide open, and my temperatures are great thanks to that. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for the 5090 build. If you don't have a great case, just open that and the temperatures just go. It's so much better. We're talking about 15 Celsius difference. I mean, if I close my case, my temperatures go up 10 Celsius almost immediately. It's crazy how big of a difference that makes. So yeah, CRT can produce more heat, at least better than flat screen. Yeah, CRTs, they run very hot. The plasmas too. I mean, these plasma are crazy hot. Take a sleeping bag. Yeah, I could. The thing is, if I buy a sleeping bag, I can return it later, I guess. But yeah, I don't want to be like a homeless. I want to, be vigilant. You never know. So yeah, let's see. But I'm going to probably go with I'm definitely gonna use the code. I'm gonna protect myself for sure. So yeah, let's see. Unboxing stream. And the thing is, I don't know how I'm going to react to a 5090. So if it's live, then it is what it is. It's gonna be raw. So I'm afraid of doing that live, man, because I don't know, man. I might cry. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, let's see what we can do. I mean, so many emotions. Especially, can you imagine that, man? Just waiting the entire night at Micro Center, no sleeping at all. So tired and freezing. Yeah, completely. I might not feeling my feet, not feeling my hands, my nose, bleeding out. Can you imagine? I take that 5090 home. That's a different level, man. You cannot compare that with a regular reviewer that's getting it nicely, just at their home. It's not the same, man. It's not the same. I also come from Cuba. All this cool tech that was not that was an impossible reality. So it's something different for me. It's just gonna be crazy. So yeah, let me play here the Gamers Nexus review. Of course, Gamers Nexus, he always does the super incredibly in-depth reviews. Trailblaze says, I ended playing Black Myth Wukong without frame generation. 90 FPS using DLSS quality of 4K, high in cinematic settings as frame generation implementation was too blurry. Yeah, we probably have a 4090, right? Because that's a great performance for the settings you're talking about. There's no way I can get that with my 3080. They need to record a super high hertz monitor with a slow motion camera showing frame generation 4x plus asynchronous reprojection. Well, here's the problem with recording in slow motion. A slow motion doesn't show the motion clarity benefit at all. And I proved that on a video. For example, if I record, let's say I am running the UFO test on my 144 hertz TV. I run it very fast, 960 pixels per second. We all know that looks like a blurry mess. If I record a slow motion video of that, the UFO test looks perfectly clear. So it is not showing you. Slow motion videos do not show you how clear it looks. You can see the artifacts, maybe. But aside from that, it's not giving you the real feedback. So what you actually need to see the real thing is to follow an object that is moving on screen, follow that with your camera. That's what you have to do. And no reviewer have done that because they don't know probably. Or maybe, of course, I understand it's difficult to do that. You have to grab the camera in your hand. You have to basically eye track with the camera of your phone. I'll try to do that when I get the 5090. See if I can find some good examples of motion in game. Like, for example, following a car in Cyberpunk, for example, easy. You just wait for the cars to come by, and then with the camera, you just follow them, and then you show the that's gonna be able to show you better what's going on with the motion. But let's see. I'll try my best. It's very difficult to show those stuff on YouTube that is limited to 60 FPS. But you have to basically follow to simulate eye tracking. What's the name of the Wukong mod? Or what exactly does it do what that is demanding? Well, it is the hybrid. I forgot the name. I have a video about it on the channel. I shared the page where you can download the mod, and it is a specific. So basically, Hybrid is an Unreal Engine developer too. So he fine-tuned the TAA depending on the resolution. So it is customized if you're going to use it at 4K, 1440p, or 1080p. That's one thing that these developers don't do at all. You have like one way, and it depends how much you're going to use, how aggressive it's going to be, how sharp it's going to be. It depends on the resolution. These developers don't fine-tune it. So he fine-tuned that and basically turn off all of the ugliness and noises and the usual, your chromatic aberration, vignette, and all that stuff. Fine-tune the TAA and he added its own anti-aliasing solution, and it looks so good. It looks good. Now the only problem is because it is so sharp in a good way. It's not like overly sharpening. It's not like adding sharpening. It's sharp because it's like more of raw pixels with less accumulation of frames. But the problem is the pine leaves are flickering a little bit. So he actually added a toggle button to completely remove them. So if you just want, you can just remove the vegetation that is flickering so it doesn't bother you. So everything looks clear. But of course, that might not be he has options to that you don't have to do that. That's like the most extreme option. So you also have options for DLSS if you want to use that to improve it, all of that. So yeah, definitely check that out for Black Myth Wukong. I will definitely, make a video about it once I get the 5090. So let's see how that goes. Any idea about the origin of CRT and its relation with the Black Mirror conspiracy? I don't know anything about the Black Mirror conspiracy, or I don't know. I have no idea. D-Tech Computer Repair, the only guy who didn't get a 5090 too early review, thinks he's an expert on the cooling. I don't know. Are you talking about me? I'm not an expert on cooling at all. I am not an expert on anything. My plasma get burning hot when displaying a Christmas fireplace for a while. Not kidding. Yeah, plasmas, they run very hot. There's apparently serious coil whine. Yeah. Look, let's hear that. Let's hear the coil whine. I forgot about that. Their Bauer showed the coil whine of the 5090. And let me tell you something. When I bought this GPU, all the reviewers were hyping up this GPU. Amazing temperatures, absolutely. I mean, the best 3080 you can get. And yeah, it is great. And the temperatures are very, very good. No issues with this GPU. I've been using it for like 2 years. No problems whatsoever. Now, coil whine is definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. I am a musician. I have a good ear. And it's kind of a deal breaker to me, honestly. If I knew it was going to be a problem. Their Bauer was probably the only video I saw on the internet that was actually calling out this GPU for having coil whine issues. So definitely pay attention to their Bauer when he's telling you that the 5090 Founders Edition has coil whine and it's kind of annoying. Let's hear that noise. Of course, the quality of the stream is not the best, but you get the idea. Let's check this out. If we can hear that noise.
From Asus back then at launch, but we should definitely talk about it. We are looking at
link in the description of the video when I finish the stream.
The 3D Max Speedway, because with about 150 FPS, that's pretty much
150 FPS. Yeah, the coil whine happens with very, very high FPS on my GPU. So I usually play, using the Game Motion Plus on my TV or with a lock FPS, and it's not that bothersome. But when you get very high on the FPS, yeah,
it's what you want to have in a gaming scenario.
Let me increase the volume here. Look at that. That was bad, man. Hear that again. Oh man, that was bad. That was bad. Let me tell you that. So go and check that out. You definitely want to hear your $2,000 screaming out of that 5090 Founders Edition. Definitely something to know, and not a lot of reviewers mention that. I mean, even Gamers Nexus, who is very big on the acoustics and all that, yeah, he showed a moment with the audio of the 5090, but I couldn't hear the coil whine. Maybe his sample didn't have that noise. Maybe NVIDIA knows or something. They sent him a golden, 5090 without any coil whine because they knew, huh? But even Gamers Nexus didn't mention that as being a big problem. They showed the 5090 sound, but it was not like, okay, here's a coil whine issue. Let me show you. So yeah, very important to check that out. Some people say that Asus GPUs in general have the coil whine issue. I don't think is a problem of the brand. I think it might be a little bit of random luck, and the power supply you have might make a difference. Or sometimes you can change. Some people say change the connector. If you have a modular power supply, change it to see if that improves anything. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's very, very important. So yeah, I'm over Asus. Have you seen the prices for the 5080 Astro? It is like $1899. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, man. Just spend $100 more and get a 5090. That doesn't make any sense. Asus tax is real, especially here in Australia. Oh, we're talking about Australia price. Yeah, outside the US, the pricing is higher. Yeah, it's a lot higher. So yeah, when it comes to the brands, let me tell you, I actually got some progress. At least I got an email to send to MSI to see if they want to send me a 5090. That would be awesome. But they most likely they don't have enough inventory. They already send them out already. But I have to say thank you to Graphically Challenge, or the display guy. He at least tried. He moved his contact. He told me MSI is a very good company to work with, and it's your best chance, basically. So that tells a lot about MSI. Reviewers, YouTubers. I've heard this from other YouTubers too, that MSI is a very good company to work with. So that's worth something to you. What I said to them, I sent them the email. I'm like, I will pay for my 5090. I don't need it to be free. And my people will definitely appreciate if MSI sends me a 5090. You're basically supporting the channel, and I'm gonna like it. I know a 59 is a great GPU, so I'm gonna make a lot of videos with that GPU. I told them that on the channel we focus in long term. I don't do one review. I do a long term. I share my experience with the product over a long period of time, and I think that has another different value in comparison with other in-depth reviews that show more like numbers and stuff. Like really my experience with the product. So I'm like, I'll pay for it. I'll be very happy. My people are gonna be happy. People are gonna like MSI more. Just send me one. It's a win-win situation. So let's see if they actually do it. So that's all. So far, that's my only chance when it comes to leveraging the YouTube channel to get a 5090. I think I decided way too late to try to do that, and they are already they all have their destiny basically already. But let's see how it goes. Oh, Doom. I said this earlier, but I tried Doom 2016, which has 200 FPS cap on my 480 hertz monitor. I use lossless scaling to make it 400 FPS. It was super clear, and I didn't see any artifacts while playing. Yeah, because 200 FPS base frame rate is amazing. That's where frame generation just is a no-brainer. I mean, yes, the input lag might be higher, but it's so good already. It's not a big deal that it's a little bit higher. So that's where frame generation is it's just absolutely incredible. So yeah, but talking about Doom, I saw I watched the Daniel Owens Doom, the new Doom system requirements video. When I was driving back, I was listening to it, and it is like Indiana Jones. Like ray tracing is mandatory. You cannot even open the game if you don't have ray tracing. And 8 gigabytes is necessary to run the game. Less than 8 gigabytes, it doesn't even work. Of VRAM, I'm talking about. So a 2060 that has 6, that one doesn't even open the game. Or maybe it runs very, very bad or stutters, I don't know. And so yeah, I don't like that trend. Like force ray trace games, I think that's absolutely terrible, because if a game supports ray tracing, I would turn it off even with a 5090. So I don't like that trend at all. I don't think it's good at all. I don't think it's good because it's forcing me to have bad performance basically, and to play with a lower resolution. I choose the 5090 or my girlfriend dedication. Absolutely, man. 5090 is, I mean, you can get another girlfriend. At 5090, you can only get one. Okay, it's one per person. Girlfriend, you can get another one. Just 5090, you can only buy one if you can actually get one. So absolutely, change your girlfriend for a 5090. That's a no-brainer. Also, it's gonna be cheaper too. So yeah, it's only $2,000. On the other hand, you never know. My 4090 Asus ROG Streets doesn't have any coil whine issue. Oh, thanks for sharing that. That's good to know. Same. That's what I think. I mean, I don't see why it is a problem with the brand at all. It might be just random luck. Same as mine. One doesn't have coil whine. Wow, that's great. This is the second video I watched that is talking about that coil whine issue with the 5090. Okay. We've been testing out the new Transformer DLSS. It is really good. That's what people are telling me. So what do you have to do to test it? Just download it and then replace the DLSS with the new file. Is that what you have to do? Let me know in the comments so I can give it a try tomorrow when I have a chance. I think tomorrow I'm going to have some time. See if I can make a video finally. I've been live streaming every day. Yeah, it's in Cyberpunk. Oh, it's already, like, you just open the game, it's already there. Okay. George is saying, I had an Asus TUF 4090 and it did not have coil whine. It made normal GPU noises, but not high-pitched screaming. Oh, that's great. Well, there you go. 3 people with an Asus GPU that don't have the coil whine. So I guess we can debunk that as being a thing. But mine does have the coil whine. So maybe it is more of this specific GPU, or I don't know. It depends on the power supply, maybe. I don't know. There are instructions on Reddit to use Transformer DLSS on any game. Well, now we're talking. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. That's one of the best things about DLSS. It just works. So one of the best things is that you can just improve any game, just copy and paste. So you got a new update, it looks better, you can just replace it in an old game, you can make it look better. That's absolutely amazing. I'll try that on Red Dead 2, which can definitely use some love. To avoid coil whine, you can just cap those frames to 120. Yeah, no, but in mine, even at 120, I can see them. But yeah, if I unlock the FPS and it's going crazy high, yeah, the coil whine becomes a problem. For offline game, Foshu. I don't know what Foshu is. I don't know what you mean. There's a new update, Cyberpunk, has a transformer model. Okay, so I just need the new update. Will G-Sync Pulsar work with Radeon? That's a good question. Probably not, but that's a good question. That's one of the monitors I want to try, man. That's one. I mean, LCD based monitor, that G-Sync pulsar monitor is the one, man. It's the best motion we probably have on flat panel. Sure, you know how fast the wave dash in Tekken, if you master it, so it became harder to follow the movement of Yakuza or Reina without getting those dizziness. What do you think about it? I don't know what you're talking about. Talking about flickering or on the NVIDIA Pulsar? I don't know. Tell me more. I don't know what you're talking about. For offline game, 120 is perfect. Why would you get DC when seeing wave dashing? Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're talking about there. Let me know. So let me go back a little bit in the comments. Man, I cannot keep up. I think I have to do the streams with a PC. I have a laptop here. Maybe, yeah, but it's gonna be more difficult to set up than my phone. They need to record super high refresh rate. Okay, this is where I was. Real frames are overrated. I like the fake ones better. I wish I could filter out the real ones. Yeah, of course, it's not like fake frames, but yeah, generated frames are definitely lower quality. I don't think there's a question about that. But yeah, they do help. That's for sure. So yeah. Wait, did he get the 5090 or not? Not yet, man. I haven't received the 5090. I have to go and fight for it. I might have to go to Micro Center and just, whatever goes down. For reprojection to even work, you never show any real frames ever. You only see reprojected frames. I was thinking about the reprojection and frame generation, all of that. And what I think can work is you do frame generation, get as many frames as you can. And then after that, you reproject the rest to fill out your monitor's refresh rate. So basically, your base frame rate for reprojection would be your maximum FPS with multiple frame generation. But of course, there's a lot of, issues and artifacts if you try to do that. I'm sure NVIDIA already tried that, and it doesn't look great. Or maybe it does, and they don't want us to see it. But the problem with reprojection, at least based on the demo that I share, is that you don't get better motion for objects that are moving. Let's say you're static and you have something moving on screen. It doesn't have better motion unless you have a higher base frame rate. So that's why I'm saying we need that frame generation to still have good motion for those things. And then when you move, the things with respect to your movement will be perfectly clear, so that they will have great motion, even if the base frame rate is like 30. It doesn't matter. So yeah, let's see what happens in the future, but we will definitely solve motion and fluidity. I think that's gonna be fixed sooner than we think, and then everything's gonna come down to other aspects. 59 is a letdown. No two ways around it. Yeah, it's definitely a disappointment. Usually with a new generation, we get like, I don't know, 50% better performance, something like that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, usually 5080 should be better than 4090. I mean, that's usually what happens. 4080 should be better than 3090. So that's how it goes. Usually, but that's not what we're getting now. Definitely. So yeah. See, I went ahead and went with the Rock Streets 4090 on my build a couple of days ago. Got called dumb for not going 5090 and waiting a week, but I feel like the 4090 will be more than excellent for a while. The 4090 is a great GPU. Now, if you ask me, I would have told you the same thing. Wait to see, what's up with the new GPUs. But now that we know, I think you did the right thing. Especially, depending on the price you pay for that. So I think you did great. The 49 is still the second best GPU in the world. And it shouldn't be. The 5080 should be better, but it's not unless you use frame generation. But multiple frame generation might come to all GPUs. It could. It should be. It is possible. It's all up to NVIDIA, basically. Need 5090 to max out Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's not. Well, it is demanding. I tried Final Fantasy VII, and it was not demanding at all. That game ran very, very fast. I haven't tried Rebirth, but yeah, 7 was very easy to run. Oh, he wants a Founders Edition for the heat. I get it. No, I like the Founders Edition, man. I like it. I mean, it just looks so good. And the temperatures now, knowing that the temperatures are good, I think is a great. I mean, especially with the price, you get an MSRP, you don't have to pay, $2,400. I would buy the Founders, but that's gonna be the most difficult GPU to buy. It seems like NVIDIA also just send it to all the YouTube channels, and they're not going to have many for sale. It's like they are very proud of it, so they send it to absolutely everybody, minus me. I didn't ask for it. I have to learn, man, how to ask for a GPU and for these products, because I've never done it. I have no experience. I don't know. Freezing temperatures. Freezing temperatures. I get what you did there. 13 Celsius isn't cold. Haha. So I'm talking about 13 Celsius inside this place right now. Outside it is freezing. I mean, 13 Celsius inside your home is no joke. Take a shower, take a cold shower with that. It's 5 Celsius here where I am right now. Yeah, I'm talking about the temperature inside my room. Yeah. The life inside. Founders Edition does run too hot. If we're being honest, though. Oh, some cooler. Okay, I think I read this comment, so I think I'm up to date. Let's go to the last one. I got 24. I got 24 inside at the moment. Yeah, it's like this ambient, perfect ambient temperature. 5090 Founders Edition needs coupler plates mod for the VRAM chips, or maybe jelly GP Ultimate thermal pads. Well, the thing is, when you look at Gamers Nexus did a video with one of the cooling designers at NVIDIA, which was great, and you could see they have thermal pads all over the memories. So I mean, yeah, maybe you can get better thermal pads, but I'm not going to open the 5090 to do that, especially because it is using the liquid metal to. So I don't know if you can take it out for that without having to mess up with that. So that's a big problem. I'm not doing that. Definitely not. And the thing is, we don't know if 90, 100 Celsius is actually okay for that VRAM. Maybe it is for that GDDR7. Maybe it's different. We don't know. There are some. I know it's not the same, but there are some SSDs that don't like cold temperatures at all. You can have them running hot and they're fine. But again, I'm not an expert on that. I don't know. But if NVIDIA thinks, I mean, here's what I think. If NVIDIA puts so much effort on that cooling, and you can see they did a great job based on the temperatures for the core, which is something that we are definitely familiar with. Especially, I mean, if you're one of those people who play with the afterburner always there, and you can toggle it on and off, of course, you need that to play the game. Are you one of those people that to actually open the game, afterburner needs to be there, showing you the temperature, your frame time, everything? Yeah, I'm one of those guys. So we're definitely familiar with the GPU temperatures. You can see that the Founders Edition, the 5090 Founders Edition, is just absolutely insane. It's so good with that, with the temperature of the die. So my point is, if it is so good, it's because NVIDIA put a lot of thoughts and effort and they really tried their best on the cooling department. So if that's the case, then hot memory, it should be fine. Like it shouldn't have any issues. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just let it be hot. That's it. It's not only about taking, choose any fighting. Okay, so I think it's a different comment. So choose any fighting game and pick a fast character and try same form of animation canceling. You'll find it hard to focus on the character model without getting headaches. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. It is 35 Celsius for me. Yeah, it's very hot. Yeah, the 5090 in that room with 35 Celsius is gonna be a problem. You're gonna sweat. You open a game, you start sweating. You're like, holy man. You need an air conditioning. If you're gonna 5090 and you're in a tropical country, I mean, you need to get an air conditioning there, man. It's like a must. I mean, air cooler is not gonna work when that 5090 starts throwing heat at you. It's gonna be crazy. I know what 600 watts does to your room because my plasma is 600 watts and it definitely warms up the room. That's for sure. So yeah, that 59 is the same. Brandon says I use a CRT monitor to play Tekken and it looks very clear. Oh yeah, I mean, CRT is where it's at for those kind of games, like 60 FPS and feeling very responsive and looking clear. I mean, there's nothing better than a CRT for that. NVIDIA had to keep the 4nm process in order to keep the price of the 5090 low enough. You've definitely been studying Jensen's teachings, man. That shows, definitely. I am with you. Absolutely, I agree with that. So basically, NVIDIA is keeping the 5090 price low. Okay, it would be a lot more that people would actually purchase it. NVIDIA had to rely on AI because it really didn't have a choice. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. If it's using the same, of course, there's always an improvement on the node and all of that, but it's using the same size for the transistors and all of that. The improvements are going to be limited. That's why it is using a lot more power to get more performance. So I'm okay with that because, on the other hand, it is something that is more mature and it's more likely to last longer and be more resilient and have less issues than if they come out with something completely new that might be more fragile. So I think it is better to not buy the first generation of something. It's better to wait a generation. You get it with more time to mature. they had, more than 2 years at this point. So yeah, it should be, I mean, 4 years if you count the development of the 40 series and then the 50 series. So yeah, VRAM temperatures are too high. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely concerning. Liquid metal. What is this Terminator 2? Yeah, I use liquid metal on my GPUs with no problems. And have you ever tried to? The problem with liquid metal is how can you like redo it, or I think that's a problem. Like it's basically you have to just keep it like it is. Like I have no experience with liquid metal. It's definitely concerning if you have to take it apart and put it back. I don't know what you do in that case. I would have to watch a video or something. I'm getting the LC Astral model version FE, and probably many others will probably run hot and be loud. Well, you just prepare your wallet. That Astral is gonna be like $2,800. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I like it. Looks amazing. That Asus Astral looks like what dreams. That's what dreams are made of, basically, for fans. That's what I'm talking about. So here's the thing: if that's the only one available, if it is $2,500, I would buy it. But if it's more expensive, I would not buy any. So if I go Micro Center, the only 5090 is the Asus Astro, and it's $2,800. I'm not buying it. It has to be 25 or less. That's my cap. I think more than $500 over is already it's lunacy. I think it's just way too much. But of course, there are some people who don't care about that. The money. I'm not rich, man. I'm trying my best. This launch me of the Fermi 2X GTX 580, which was a 19% increase in performance over the 4080. Yeah, that's what we're getting, like 25, 24. That's what we're getting. I have the first gen 240 hertz OLED WOLED monitor. I prefer normal color over HDR color. Is that normal? How much better are QD OLED for HDR? So you prefer normal color, but are you on SDR? Because sometimes the monitors on SDR are not clamping the color gamut, and then you have overly saturated colors. But when you change to HDR, it should be fine. So I'm not sure what you mean by you don't like the HDR colors. For HDR brightness, we need HDR colors. Otherwise, it looks washed out. They go together. Like you cannot, I mean, if you have HDR brightness with SDR colors, that doesn't look great. So how much better are QD OLED for HDR? A lot better. HDR with QD OLED colors is fantastic. I'm telling you, like, I opened this channel. I had my LG C1 for like 2 years, and I never thought about buying anything else. I was super happy with it. And I'm like, okay, finally, QD OLED is so low in price with these Samsung TVs. Let me try one. I got a S95C for $760. I paid $1,139 before, and then I got a price match, $760. Absolutely insane. And I was blown away with the picture quality. Absolutely blown away. Then the S90C came out, 65 inches for $1,000. I'm like, yeah, I want that. So what I'm saying right now is I was blown away with the QD OLED colors in a way that I now have two 65-inch QD OLEDs. I bought 2 of them. And I am not the one to be buying a lot of TVs and buying a lot of stuff. It's that good. That's what I'm telling you. QD OLED colors, just absolutely amazing. And regardless of accuracy, of course, if it's more accurate, it's gonna be better. But it's amazing. Now monitors are different though. Monitors sometimes it's like 400 nits on a 10% window. I don't know why they restrict the brightness so much with the monitors. But yeah, colors are going to be there for sure. QD is great, especially the screen uniformity. If you have solid full screen colors, difference is very, very good. QD is so uniform. I like that a lot. I'm excited to see how 5090 runs Rebirth. Okay, I don't even have that game. You know what I don't like about Final Fantasy is so much HUD elements, man, and the tutorials is like so long. If I could remove all the HUD elements and I didn't need any of them, I would be a lot more likely to play that. But so much HUD is crazy. Of course, I can try to remove it using the shader toggler on Reshade, and I might try that actually. So I have a hotkey to remove HUD, and when I want to see it, I just press the hotkey, and they pop back. But yeah, all that HUD, the screen is full of HUDs basically. That's what I don't like about some of these games. Maybe the 5090 VRAM chips have planned obsolescence. Will die after 2 years just in time for the 1690 GTA 6. Well, the thing is, if they die, then Jensen cannot say that the 5090 was the best investment you could ever make. He cannot say that. So I don't think it's gonna be 2 years. It's probably gonna be 3 years. It's probably gonna last just 3 years. So a little bit more. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna be right after the warranty expires. Yeah, I mean, we have to also consider that they don't want to give you something that's gonna last forever. But GPUs have very, very solid lifespan. Honestly, like I've never heard of a friend or someone who their GPU died. Some people that do overclocking and stuff, they kill the GPU sometimes, but if you just use it normally, I don't think GPUs are very solid. They crash if you try to do overclocking and stuff, and it just works right back on. So you get some artifacts if you're going way too much, but then you bring it back, it's not a problem. They have a lot of protection mechanisms for power, so it doesn't blow up. But the 12-pin connector did have some issues. So hopefully that's already, those issues are completely gone at this point. That's why it's better to, I think this is a more solid generation to get, because those initial issues, they should be already resolved. Imagine when Stellar Blade releases on PC, that 5090, whew, I cannot wait for that, man. That's gonna be a 4K plus beauty, man. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's why I wanna. We've been running this one. Let me change it to. By the way, I had this review. Look at this. I wanted to show this. This is a regular, just a gamer testing the 5090, and he was showing him Alan Wake. Here's what a gamer, just someone who would actually play a game. This is what he thinks about Alan Wake 2. On a 5090, okay? On a 5090. This is Alan Wake for you.
But I'm not gonna lie, I think this game looks terrible.
So let's try.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this game looks terrible. And he said that like 5 times in his video. I'm gonna link in the description of the video of this live stream, this review of the 5090. Is DLSS 4 actually BS? The RTX 5090 blind test. So it's basically someone blind testing the settings of the 5090 to see if it looks good with frame generation and all of that. I think it was a great video too. So yeah, I'll have a link. You check it out. And basically, Alan Wake 2 looks like trash. I don't know why. Nvidia doubles down on that, and you could see the Digital Foundry, the Digital Foundry logo when he said that, basically, because Digital Foundry loves Alan Wake and Nvidia too. I don't know why, honestly. So I think it's one of the worst looking games ever. It's just absolutely terrible. So yeah. Me too. I use Summit CRT monitor. If you focus, you can see the individual characters changing very fast on random select screens. I don't know. The FE is made for professional work. It's gonna run hot and be loud when you start pushing frames on it. That's why I'm getting the model with a beefy cooler like the LE Astral. Well, that's not a beefy cooler. That's the beefiest. The most beefiest of the coolers. I don't know if there's a bigger than that, but 4 fans, whew, that's definitely a showstopper. Your frame gen kind of gives me a headache too. Yeah, some people might not like it. 5 Noctua Industrial should work. Oh, you mean like putting an extra fan or something? Do you think I should wait to see what the RX 570 XT has to offer before I buy an RTX 5070? I returned my brand new RTX 4070 Super in December because I like frame generation. So you return it, your 4070 Super, waiting for, in December, we didn't know about the multiple frame generation. I've been calling it. I've been saying it's going to come. It's obvious, and it happened. But yeah, if you like frame generation, I think that's a no-brainer. Get the 5070. I mean, the RX 9070 is a faster GPU, more VRAM, cheaper. No, not cheaper. I mean, it's how much is it? I don't even know the pricing because honestly, I have not paid attention to AMD. Honestly, I would only buy Nvidia because of the features. They are ahead, and for me, the biggest selling point is in general the anti-aliasing is better. So I am already not a big fan of TAA and all these temporal things and the upscaling. So if you make it worse, that's not an option for me. It has to be the best of the best anti-aliasing. So even if I have a higher frame rate with AMD, if it doesn't look as good when it comes to the clarity and the anti-aliasing and the sharpness and all of that, that's a deal breaker. Like I don't care if I'm getting 20 more frames. I don't care. So I would say go Nvidia always. That's why. Because of the DLSS is better, because frame generation is better. And yes, AMD is going to have its own version. But guess what? Most likely you can use that FSR4. You can use that on your Nvidia GPU too, in case it's very good. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just going to be locked to the latest generation. But yeah, I would always get Nvidia because of that. It's just that simple. For me, which GPU has the best upscaling and the best anti-aliasing and all of that, that's the GPU I'm going to get. Let's see what Intel can do. And Intel is looking very good with their lower end. Maybe for the next generation, Intel is gonna offer some competition. And I watched a video of Kimping, and he was working for EVGA and all the stuff. So he cannot. It seems like he cannot release his work on do a 5090 version or something like that. So he has to wait. But he hinted that in the future the Kimping cards are gonna be back, but it might not be with Nvidia. So I guess it's gonna be with Intel, not with AMD, because I think AMD is no longer interested on the highest end models, and I think Intel is the one who is going to bring the heat and actually become the second player on the GPU market. But let's see how that goes. We definitely need competition. Otherwise, NVIDIA is just gonna keep raising the price, and yeah, it's just gonna be impossible to buy these GPUs. James says, I literally just use frame generation through lossless scaling to enable backlight strobing to get my LCD motion resolution higher. That's another thing that these reviewers are never mentioning. The reason why, one of the biggest reasons why you would need to get those 360 frames. Let's say you get the NVIDIA Pulsar monitor. Well, that NVIDIA Pulsar monitor supports strobing with VRR at the same time. But still, if it's a locked frame rate, it's better. If you can get your 360 FPS for your 360 hertz monitor, you can now not only get better motion because you're doing your frame generation. Now you're multiplying that motion clarity even more, and it could be 2, 3, 4 times and beyond. So think about that. You multiply by 4 your frame rate with frame generation, and then you can use strobing and multiply by 4 again the motion clarity. So you could have a situation where you're getting 60 FPS, really. Those 60 FPS, you multiply by 4, that's like 240 FPS. And you think that's good enough already for it to be compelling. Well, on top of that, you do strobing and you multiply by 4 that one more time. So you're going from 60 FPS looking in motion to that be looking like 480. That's no 480, no, like 960. Yeah, 960. So 240 multiplied by 4, that's like 960. That's crazy, man. That's just insane. From 60 to 960, that is like a CRT, So yeah, that's very, very important. Frame generation is a way to fill out your the refresh rate of your display, so you can then use strobing. The majority of the displays, almost all of them, when you are using flickering technologies, you cannot use VRR. So you need an absolutely rock solid frame rate, and it has to be very high. So a very, very important thing. I mean, I'm definitely going to try my LG C1 again when I get the 5090, because I would finally be able to get a rock solid, 120 FPS locked in almost every game, even without frame generation, which would be amazing. So yeah, I cannot wait to try that. Very, very big deal. Absolutely. You cannot get a Founders Edition in Europe, as far as I know. Well, in the US, you cannot get them either, most likely. Well, let's see how is the availability. 25% minimum. More for that Asus Beast. No, I don't think any of these AIB models will be like more than 10% faster than the base Founders Edition. I don't think so. All that cooling and all of that is, yeah, you can do some overclocking. I don't think with overclocking normally, of course, without liquid nitrogen and all that crazy stuff, I don't think you're gonna get like 15% better frame rate on any game. You might get 10, 15 more frames, depending on the frame rate, of course. So you're going from like 100 to 115 frames. That's insane overclocking. That would be like, wow. I don't think we're going to get that, especially because with the 4090, if you increase the memory, and I'm not an expert on overclocking at all. Like I don't have a great overclocking on my GPU. I never actually pay attention to that too much. I do like a minor overclocking. That's increasing the performance a little bit. But usually on a 4090, you just increase the memory speed, and you get a good bumpy performance, because the memory speed is like you can look at it as a bottleneck that you're removing. If you get a faster memory, you're removing a bottleneck, so that lets the core of the GPU stretch its legs. But this 5090, this 50 series GPUs with DDR7 are already a lot better and a lot faster. So I don't think we're going to get any benefits at all increasing the memory speeds. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you will get better results. Maybe it's gonna be very small. So, and then the core is already like max out. We're talking about almost 600 watts. That's like the limit of the power that the GPU can draw already. So how much more power are you going to be able to get with those AIB models? They are not coming with two 12 pins or something crazy like that. So I don't think it's going to make any sense to spend that much more money on the AIBs, honestly, other than it looks cool. And I would love to have the Astral, 4 fans, absolutely insane looking GPU. That's awesome because it looks amazing, but that's it. So that's my take. Again, I might be wrong. I'm not sure about that. We will see once the reviews are out. I guess 500 or more for Astral above MSRP. 500, I think it would be okay. Yeah, I will be happy with that. 2500, give me the Astral. Yeah, if that's the only one available, I'm buying it. But more than that, I think is just lunacy. So guys, what do you think AIB model reviews will be? What or when? I don't know what they're going to be, but I think they are going to have a hard time beating the Founders Edition, unless they are also using liquid metal and all that. It's gonna be hard to beat the cooler of the 5090. Maybe the memory temperatures are gonna be better, but other than that, it's gonna be difficult. My LCD is 1080p overclocked to 180 FPS. When it locked to 180, I can resolve 1200 pixels per second in motion. But is that using a strobing? I guess, no? I don't know. Is that you see it? It's a LCD. Yeah, with 120 hertz sample on hold, 1200 pixels per second is super fast. There's no way that looks clear, unless it's using strobing or something. I think it will be worth upgrade my 4090 when 6 series or even maybe 7 series comes. I use only for games 4K. I mean, that 49 is gonna last you forever, especially if NVIDIA enables the multiple frame generation. Just gonna last you forever. Maybe you have to upgrade the CPU and other stuff before the GPU. Maybe I will get a Gigabyte 5090 Aorus Master. That was looking good. It has 4 fans too, and a 40 series had less coil whine than Asus and MSI. Wait. The Gigabyte 5090 has 4 fans? Let me see that. So Aorus Master 5090. Let's check that out. Aorus Master. Wait, 5090. Let's check that out, man. Here it is. I see 3 fans. Does it have another fan in the back? Let's see. Okay, I see 3 fans here. Is that another fan in the back? That doesn't make any sense. Is that fan just sticking out the GPU like this? This is crazy. Why would they do that? I thought, I watched this video, this picture the other day. I thought, oh, that's crazy. Man, I think that's kind of ridiculous, man. Because it looks, you know what that looks like? It looks like they designed the GPU and they were all sitting down, and then someone comes and say, hey, you know what? Asus has a GPU that's gonna have 4 fans. And our GPU only has 3 fans. So I think we should at least match them. And they're like, yeah, let's just add another fan on top of it, and that's it. They just slapped another fan on top of it and call it a day. I don't think this is a good. I mean, this doesn't look good. I mean, the rest of the GPU looks amazing, but this looks so out of place. It looks like an afterthought, honestly. But it's crazy. I mean, it's gonna look amazing. I look at this GPU the other day and I was like, man, this looks fantastic, but there's no way I could comprehend. Like, I'm looking at it and I don't understand that this is actually part of the GPU. It was looking like something external. That's not actually what this is. 5090 starts here. It goes from here to here. See, there's no extra fan. Wow. I wonder why they have that extra fan sticking out like that. That's crazy. That was price, not performance. Sorry, 25. Oh, 25% more expensive. Yeah, 25% more expensive for like 28% better performance. Yeah. I was keeping this gen really disappointing. Going from a 3080 12 gigabytes to a 5080 worth it. I'm really enjoying my PS5 Pro right now. Yeah, think about this. If you're getting 60 FPS with your 3080 12 gigabytes, which is what I have, I think with a 5080, you're going to get 100 to 110 FPS. And with a 5090, I think you're getting like 135, 140 FPS, something like that. I mean, of course, I'm like speculating. It depends on the game and many things. But yeah, it's almost still going to be almost or 2 times the real performance in some cases, or even more in some cases. So yeah, that's gonna be a massive improvement. I think the 5080 is gonna be a great GPU. The price is not crazy. It's the least compelling when it comes to prior generations of 4080 to 5080. It's like 15%. The reviews are going to show some games as like less than 10%, which is not great, but it's a great GPU. So it's still great. And I think it is definitely worth that upgrade. So let's see, 6% overclock gains is the norm. Yeah, that makes more sense. 5-6%. I mean, 6% is great. Usually people get like 2 or 3% and they're happy with that. If you're gonna get 5 more frames, I think that's great. If Astral doesn't perform much better, I'm probably gonna go for Master. So you want that? Master Aorus and Aorus. I don't know how to pronounce that. I could run my 4090 at 3 gigahertz easy, plus 1500 on memory flash with Strix BIOS. Well, the 5090 is a little bit below when it comes to the clock speeds based on the reviews, but they have not tested pushing the overclocking yet. So we'll see how the 5090 overclocks, but I think it's not going to overclock well at all. I think the 5090 needs a big load. You know, if you test at a low resolution, if it's not very demanding when you're trying, it's not shining. So it has an issue stretching its legs, basically. So let's see how it overclocks. I'll buy a new GPU when a high-end one releases with Type-C again. What are your thoughts on Type-C on GPUs? It is super nice for single cable displays. I don't know why they eliminated the Type-Cs. A lot of people wanted to have that for VR, some VR headsets. I'm not sure about the new VR headsets, if they would use that at all. But yeah, I am all for it. The thing is, it seems like that added a lot of cost to the. It seems like that added a lot of cost to the GPUs. So that's probably why they drop it completely. I mean, if adding a Type-C is gonna increase the price in $200, I much rather not have it because I have no use for it. But I don't know. That would be a good question for these people that interview NVIDIA, all that stuff. Ask them that question. See why they don't have that anymore. Maybe some power could go through PCI Express. At least I hope for OC. Yeah, but I think it's gonna be very limited in power already because they are pushing it already way too much. By the way, when it comes to features that are not working on the 50 series, here on this video from Der Bauer, he tried GPU Z with the 5090, and it was not reading the peak temperature for the core, which is kind of weird. And then NVIDIA said that they removed the ability to do that because it was not useful or necessary or something like that. I'm like, what? Der Bauer is like, how are you gonna say that? That's super important to know because especially if you reapply the thermal paste or something like that, you definitely want to know that number to see if there is a weak spot. So basically you didn't apply the thermal paste evenly or something, there's a hot spot. So you want to know that. And it's actually reporting here GPU hotspot temperature 255 Celsius. Can you imagine someone who doesn't fully, it's not fully aware that that's not working? It's like a bug. It sees that 255. Let's turn off the PC. My 5090 is cashing on fire right now. That is crazy. So that's no longer working with hardware info. I use this program a lot. It's very, very good. It gives you all the details. So this GPU hotspot temperature on the 5090, it's not working. You're not getting that information anymore. And then NVIDIA told him that, but now you can actually read the memory temperature. And the Bauer was like, yeah, that was possible already. So it's just nothing new. So yeah. What's up, SB Digital? He says, would it be worth going into a service menu on my S89C 2nd Gen QD OLED panel to get S95C brightness? I would not recommend you S95C brightness. I will go all the way beyond S95C, just crank it up all the way to the max and let it burn. Absolutely, man. I think that's a must. You got to steal with an S89C. If it has a 2nd Gen QD OLED, you got a steal of a display. You got the best display money. I mean, for the money. Absolutely. I mean, you just got it. I mean, just precious what you have right now. So, I mean, I would go to the service menu and I pick 1023 all the way up, completely max out. Then go and use game HDR basic, a static tone mapping, open a white clipping test pattern, and then go to the service menu and increase the HM pad, pick W plus, increase that until you see it clipping at 2000 nits. Check that the whites are clipping at 2000 nits, and then check your color saturation. Check that the red is not clipping way sooner than 2000. It's okay if it's clipping a little bit before that, but not way too sooner. And then check that the magenta is clipping close. Magenta and yellow are clipping close to 2000 nits. Or the rest of the colors should be clipping close to 2000 or after 2000 nits. And enjoy. And then use active tone mapping and calibrate the peak W dot. And that one is going to change the EOTF tracking for active tone mapping. So then do the same. So it clips at 2000 nits. So in that way, you can use active or static, depending on the game, and you can get all the performance. So I would definitely do that, and I would definitely disable the ASBL dimming, screen brightness from 7 to 0. Yeah, I mean, go and also disable DSC. I share a guide to do that. So yeah, man, just go all in, let it burn. Is it more risky? Are you running the risk of burning and all of that? Yes. Is it worth it? Yeah, absolutely, it is worth it. I think it is. It looks better. It looks significantly better, let me tell you. So definitely try it. If you don't see the difference, then go back to the other setting, the default settings, basically. 5090 is basically a 4090 Ti. If I can get it, I think it will be. I'm upgrading for the first time in 7 years. Oh yeah, definitely get it, man. 7 years. I know what GPU you have. You maybe have a 2080 Ti or 1080 Ti or something. You get a bigger cooler for noise, not more overclocking. Yeah. But imagine you get a bigger cooler. Imagine you get that Asus Astro and it has coil whine. That'll be the ultimate failure. You get the big GPU, so it's quieter, and then it has coil whine. That'll be terrible. So I have to go to sleep. Already I am over the time. Ready to go to sleep. I have to work tomorrow. Luckily I do work from home. It's so nice, man. I have such a nice job. I'm so happy. So yeah, I don't need to drive in the morning. It's so awesome. But yeah, I do have to do a lot of stuff tomorrow. And this weekend we're going to have a live stream with Adam from In Layman's Terms, and I will see if I can invite Max Chambliss. I think he was doing a live stream tomorrow too. No, he's doing a live stream tomorrow. I'm talking about Saturday. So see if we can have him too. And anyone who wants to join, see if we can have more people on the live stream. But because Gaming Tech has some family stuff to do, so it's not gonna be on the live stream. So yeah, I work as a data analyst. You see, high-end stuff. See, I'm learning. So I'm very, very happy with where I am right now, man. This country is so amazing. The US is such a great country, man. It's just so much abundance. I mean, if you've been living in the US your whole life, maybe you don't appreciate all the stuff that I see, but the abundance here is just so amazing, man. Just the food and the stuff that you can buy. And here in the US, I think we are rich. We're all rich just by living here in this country. Such a great country. So yeah, I'm a proud American right now. I already got my citizenship, so yeah, I'm so yeah, without getting too political, but I don't watch any of the news, none of that. But this is an amazing country. As Ariel pointed out, HDR doesn't work properly all the time with lossless scaling. So for the odd game might be useful, but I'm getting 144 FPS right now, even with Wukong after the latest patch. So yeah, with lossless scaling, RTX HDR doesn't work at all. It just doesn't work well. So yeah, 5080 is not gonna be close to the 4090. But if you turn on the power of AI, then it's actually better. But yeah, it's not gonna be better, and it should be. We usually, you get the 80 class car should be better than the 70 class. The 80, the 90 class car should be better. I mean, the other way. The 70 class car should be better than the 80. The 80 should be better than the 90 of the previous generation. That has usually been the case, and if it is not, then it's very disappointing and underwhelming. But yeah, let's leave it there, man. We've been almost 2 hours, and I have to go to sleep. Let's see if I have time this weekend. Definitely on Sunday. Let's see if I have time tomorrow to make a video. And yeah, let's see if I can get that 5090. Let's see if MSI decides to send me a 5090. Man, that would be so awesome. I would go crazy with it. Crazy. If they knew how crazy I would go with a 5090, they would send me one right away, because that video is gonna go viral. Let me tell you. I'm gonna go just insane with that 5090. They should know, man. They should know and send me a 5090. I'll pay for it. I don't care. I'll pay for it. I just want to have my 5090. Yeah, let's go USA. Yeah, this country is amazing, man. Yeah, good night, everyone. Thanks for being here, man. These live streams are fantastic, I think. We always have a lot of people in the chat, so many comments. I cannot even reply to all the comments anymore. I used to read all the comments on the live stream. I cannot do that anymore. So we're killing it. So let's see if I can keep making good videos. But sometimes if I don't have time to test anything, I cannot make any videos. I haven't had time to play or do anything. Is that what they call musicians now, Ariel? No, I am a musician too. So I have more than one job. I do teachings. I teach classical guitar, electric guitar, and all that stuff. I do it online and in person. So I do have some gigs for that. I have the YouTube channel. I have the regular job, and yeah, I have more than one source of income. The YouTube channel is going up. We're snowballing. We're snowballing. I mean, YouTube is such a. I mean, it's one of the. Well, definitely making money teaching music and teaching the guitar it's such a great job, man. I mean, I would do that for free. When you have a job that you would do for free, you have a great job, man. That's the dream. I mean, right now, if I was multimillionaire, I didn't need anything, I would still like to, perform, play the guitar, and teach the guitar. I would do it for free. No money necessary. So that's such a great job. YouTube, what I'm doing right now, I would do it for free. So to get paid for those things that you really like, I think those are the jobs and the opportunities that are worth pursuing, honestly. And the regular job that I have is so awesome. It's just like, I mean, I have a boss that's like my best friend. I mean, imagine you have your boss is like one of your best friends. It's like family, almost. it's like, I mean, what else can you ask on life? I'm so grateful for the things that I have. I'm surrounded by, my family. I mean, things are going my way. Everything is working. It just works. So I'm very happy, man. So yeah, I just need to. Sometimes that is challenging too. So when everything is going your way and you are comfortable, sometimes it's difficult to push to go to the next level, because you get like, oh, I don't need, you get too comfortable. You never want to feel so comfortable. Sometimes sometimes not, most likely all the time, you make the biggest progress when you are not, very, when you're like with your back against the wall or something. You put the extra to get to a better position or next level. So sometimes it's challenging when you are actually doing so well. It's challenging to keep pushing. So I think whatever your position is good. If you're not doing well, then use that to put in the effort so you can do well. And if you are doing very well, then congratulations. But still we have to push to go to the next level. But yeah, this guy sounds too materialistic. Maybe that's America in general, consumption patriots. Well, honestly, I am not materialistic at all, because I don't care at all about many of the material things. Honestly, one of the reasons why I think I've done very well here in the US is because I don't buy anything. You see, I bought these two TVs, the PC. I want to buy the 5090, but I usually don't buy anything. I don't need anything. I just work, make money, and that's it. And I buy the food that I need to survive, and that's it. Usually, I give it away. Have you ever, like, think about? I don't want to get into details, but I've been so lucky to receive a lot from friends and from other people who have helped me, but I've also, give back to many as every time I can, basically. And my gifts are big. I love the big gifts. I love to just blown away like someone with a gift. So yeah, I feel lucky, but at the same time, I love to giving. So I'm not materialistic at all. Like I don't care about it. I don't care at all about that. I like some stuff, and I do have my priorities, but for the most part, I almost never buy anything. So yeah, I spend most of my income investing. Getting into it, bro. Trolls? I don't think we have any trolls on the channel. No, he's not a troll. Look, he's saying we keep up your videos. I appreciate you, brother. I think we have no trolls. That's another thing. I usually try to see the good things only. I don't think if I ever get someone in the comments saying something that I don't like, I just permanently ban them. And the reason is I put a lot of effort in replying to all the comments. So if someone doesn't appreciate that, I cannot waste my time with them, because I want to be here for the people who actually have a question or want to interact or have something to say. So when I ever detect something that I don't like, I completely permanently ban them. So I think that's working very well, because we have no trolls on the channel. Like, all the people here are contributing and just having a good conversation. So I think that's great. So yeah, and that's another thing. If I ever see someone saying something, I see like people just hammer on them. So I never reply to any. If I ever get a negative comment, which is very strange, honestly, I'm surprised how few bad comments or negative comments we get. But yeah, I see. Yeah, my people just hammer on anyone who says anything. My people just go and just hammer on it. So I'm like, okay, I don't have to fight anyone. Yeah. Can it talk him to getting the S95D? Yeah, I'm not really the one buying stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna sleep at Micro Center. I will live stream Micro Center. And see how long I can live stream before I freeze. But yeah, let's leave it there. I need to go to sleep. Thanks for everyone who was here. Thank you very much, man. You guys have a great one. And I wish everything goes your way. You guys take care. And I will have a link in the description to all the sources.